What's up, guys? Need a haircut here, and we're back with another episode of Poker Hands. Today we're going to be taking a look at another hand from the Triton High Roller Cash game, but this time we're going to see a fan favorite here on the channel. That's right, Dwan is going to be gracing our presence here in today's video, but before we jump into that hand, I want to let you guys know that we're posting a video every day right here on this channel at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So if you don't want to miss any videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you tomorrow for the premiere. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the action.
So Tom did open up this pot, and Lang Yu here is going to call from the small blind. Romay is going to call from the big blind. We don't see whole cards yet.
As has been the case usually here lately, our hand begins at 1 million, 2 million Korean won blinds, so roughly a $1,600 to $1,700 big blind. The action begins with Dwan opening it up under the gun +2 with ace-4 suited, which is actually a normal open. In fact, we've seen many hands in this game where people raise random garbage all over the place. But the suited aces are nice bluffs to have in your range from any position because of their equity and their removal. Action then folds to the small blind where Yu Liang looks down at pocket tens. And this is a spot you mainly want to be 3-betting. You don't want to be doing too much calling in the small blind overall. Now, I wouldn't mind mixing a call every now and then so we can have some flats in the small blind. And tens is on that threshold between being a mandatory 3-bet and being right in the middle of our range. But I do still lean towards a raise. Dwan's going to have so many hands here that you're ahead of, and if this game is playing as loose as it seems like it has been playing, you're definitely going to want to raise here as your main line to get some value. The other benefit to raising here is the big blind can't see the flop with some garbagey hand and outflop you, so lot to gain here with a re-raise. Anyway, Liang does decide to just make the call, and now the action's over to the big blind, who looks down at 9-5 suited. And look, you're not thrilled, but there is a big blind ante in play. You're getting pretty good odds. You close the action. I don't mind calling here, which he decides to do, and let's take a flop.
You want to stay at the Aquilina?
Flop is ace-8-4. Dwan flops top and bottom pair. Lang Yu's got pocket tens, one overcard.
I haven't either, but
So Dwan is going to bet 10 million.
The flop comes ace-8-4 rainbow, which is obviously an amazing flop here for Dwan, flopping top and bottom pair up against pocket tens and 9 high. Both blinds check, and not too much to talk about here. This is not the spot to trap. Your hand is not good enough to trap and try and get money on later streets. You need to bet and get paid and make this pot a lot bigger. In fact, you should mainly not check back traps almost ever. You should be looking to bet them and build the pot. Anyway, Tom does decide to go ahead and bet the flop, and now over to the small blind with pocket tens, and things are starting to get a little bit dicey. Yes, your opponent could have top pair, but it is Dwan, and he could be bluffing. I mean, we've seen plenty of clips of that.
He is loading the gun. He fires.
Come on.
No.
Wow! That is a gigantic bet.
It's 50,000 hands of 200, 400 or higher, no limit or PLO, and I'm doing it just to try to create some action.
This guy really might have been the best bluffer we've ever seen, other than Jamie Gold.
I wouldn't have called you. I said top.
Anyway, back to reality here with pocket tens. You probably got to see a turn. I mean, it's not a good spot. You are three-way, but the big blind's unlikely to have a very strong hand, and the player that opened can definitely have a bunch of other hands that have missed this board that he's bluffing with, like king, queen, king, jack, queen, jack, maybe some 10-9 suited hands. There are enough other hands here to justify a call, although you're not too thrilled having pocket tens. You even block some of the hands that Dwan might be bluffing with. If it was a 4 or 5-way flop, I might look to just let this one go, but given that it is 3-way with a big blind with a very wide range, I don't mind calling and seeing a turn, which is what Liang Yu decides to do. The big blind gets out of the way, and let's take a turn.
Gets a quick call from Lang Yu. Turn card is the 3. So it's rainbow, no flush draws. Dwan probably puts his opponent on an ace usually.
26.
Betting 26,000. Lang Yu. He knows that Dwan likes to bluff. So against some opponents, this might be an easy fold, but against Dwan, you know he's always up to no good. So this might be a hand worthy of a call for Lang Yu. Trying to decide what kind of hands Dwan could have. 5-6, 5-7. 6, 7 most likely candidates. So he does make the call here.
The turn comes an action card. The 3 of hearts. Well, you might not think it's an action card, but it's going to be as the action checks to Tom Dwan and he fires another bullet. And this is definitely the standard play. You got to keep betting, build some value here with your very strong hand. Now over to Liang Yu. What does he want to do here with his pocket tens? Does he want to call the turn? And this is a good rule for people that want to try and learn the basics of poker. When you have a hand that is very unlikely to improve, like let's just say pocket tens here on this turn, you want to fold the turn and not the river. And the logic is simple. If you're just going to fold to a river barrel, and that river barrel was going to come quite often if your opponent bet the turn, well, you're too unlikely to improve on the river to be able to call another bet. So you get out of the way on the turn. So the way you structure your turn calls is you have some hands that could maybe improve on some rivers, like a hand like, I'm just going to say pocket fives, although I don't love that play. But basically something where you have like a straight draw or a pair plus straight draw, something in that vicinity. And then when you have hands like tens that can't improve, you just fold. And then when you have your very good hands like your strong aces or 2 pairs, you call the turn and river. It works out nicely that way. You have some hands to fold turn, some hands to call and fold unimproved, and some hands to call both streets. If you decide to call here on the turn with tens, you are getting into dangerous territory. And if you do call the turn, you gotta look to call some rivers. Now, I'm not saying I like it. I don't like it at all. But calling the turn here and planning on playing weak on the river, that one I like the least. Anyway, Liang Yu does make the call, and let's take a river.
82,000 in the middle. River card's a 6, a very safe card for Tom Dwan. Really only loses to ace 6, ace 8 usually. Dwan, when he sees his opponent check call to flop and check call to turn, definitely puts him on an ace usually. So he might size up a bit trying to get hero called.
It's a 9. Joe.
So Tom Dwan is going to overbet, or just about pot size bet actually. 90 million. Liang Yu in a tough spot here. I think against most opponents he would quickly fold this for 3 barrels, but against Tom Dwan you just never know. Especially for a big pot size bet, it looks like he's either got a really big hand like 2 pair plus or nothing. Probably doesn't expect Tom Dwan to bet a hand like ace jack this way, because of the big bet's quite polarizing. I mean, for Liang Yu to call to flop and turn, he definitely thinks that Tom Dwan is bluffing, so it's not out of the question for him to make a call here.
The river comes a 6, which is one of the biggest bricks in the deck. In fact, this is a very, very dry board. There's no flush draws. There aren't really that many straight draws either player can have. All in all, this board is fairly dry, and so there aren't many hands that can be improving, and so there are not many rivers that are going to be scare cards. Liang Yu checks once again over to Tom Dwan, who fires a huge bet, almost full-sized pot here on the river to the tune of 90 million Korean won. You know what? This is a fold. By all metrics, this is a fold. This should have been folded on the turn. You can have tons of better hands. You block maybe some hands he could bluff with. This is a fold by all accounts. But I'm going to go the other way for just one moment here. You know what I don't like in poker? When people show up and they're ready to lose. They just want to clock in, lose some money, hit a set, and fold to a raise. That's not how you play poker. You play poker to win. And if on this turn you call a bet against Tom Dwan with almost no way to improve, hoping, praying that you're good, you can't do that to fold the river. You gotta put your foot down. What if he is bluffing? What if your read is right? And that's the lesson today. When you got a read, when you got a stone read, you can't be afraid to execute and stick with your reads. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have your reads, what do you even have other than sound strategy?
I think he does make the call here, and Tom's going to get paid off huge. $250,000 pot for Tom Dwan. It's a big win. Liang Yu is going to lose that pot. Put him on the bluff. Fortunately, his read was wrong in this situation. Tom Dwan wins about $125,000.
Thank you for joining me today for Poker Hands, and if you are interested in some sound poker strategy, I'd recommend checking out my poker training website, upswingpoker.com.